Today's Top 5 Wednesday is books you'll recommend for Halloween. Hi everybody, it's Lydia here. I don't read a lot of horror books, so yeah, this was actually quite a hard one for me because I didn't have very much to choose from, but I managed to find 5, so let's do this. At number 5 is Fear Itself by S.M.R. Cooper. Now, I reviewed this about a month ago and I didn't overly love this book, not gonna lie, but I will say that when I was reading it, I used to read a lot kind of in the evenings before I went to sleep. It was quite disturbing. There are particular parts in it that are quite creepy. It's basically about this group of friends who are they're playing Dungeons and Dragons in a cave and these creepy monsters start attacking them, and it is the first part in a series, the Doorway series, and as I say, I didn't overly love the book, but it was very creepy and disturbing, so for Halloween it's kind of perfect. So yeah, that is my number 5. At number 4 is Blood Brothers by Nora Roberts. This is a book about 3 guys who, when they were kids, they formed this blood pact and they accidentally caused a sort of demonic force to be released on their town where they lived, and every 7 years this thing happens where everyone in town starts doing unspeakable things and then they forget about it. And this has been going on for 21 years or something, and every 7 years this happens, and it's a really decent book, and I think as a standalone book it's really good. It is actually part of a trilogy. The sequels were just sort of mishmashed versions of the original and it just felt a bit, I don't know, pointless. I liked it as a standalone book though, and it is quite disturbing and unnerving. So yeah, that is my number 4. At number 3 is The Melancholy Death of Oyster Bay by Tim Burton. This isn't so Halloween-y really, but it's just kind of quite, it's Tim Burton, so it's quite sort of creepy, and it's basically a series of poems and short stories, and The Melancholy Death of Oyster Bay is just one of them. There are loads of others, and it's a really cute book. There are all sorts of illustrations in it that Tim Burton has done, and it's a really enjoyable read. I really like it. It's not very Halloween-y, as I say, but it's a really nice book, and if you like Tim Burton and you like poetry, then I would recommend it. At number 2 is The Complete Works of Edgar Allan Poe. I was gonna pick one story out of it and then I couldn't decide, so I've just gone for The Complete Works because they're all really awesome, and as I've said before, it's a great book to just sort of, if you're in the mood for a short story, to just pick up and read one and then you can go back to your life. My favourites are The Telltale Heart, which I think is really creepy, and then The Mask of the Red Death is quite unnerving, but it's really beautifully written. But that is number 2 in my top 5. My number 1 recommended book for Halloween is The Woman in Black by Susan Hill. If you've seen the film version of this that they made a couple of years ago but haven't read the book, I would really recommend reading the book. The film was good as a horror, it freaked me the hell out and I don't want to watch it again, but the book is so much better because they did change the story a lot in that. It's basically about this guy who is a solicitor, and he is sent to Eelmarsh House in the middle of marshes in the middle of nowhere, and he soon discovers that there is a ghost in the house of a woman who used to live there, and she is pretty disturbing. First time I read this, I actually read it in an English class by our teacher, and it was a bright sunny day. We were in the middle of the school library, it was all very lovely and fun, and then she read us this book and it was creepy as hell, and oh my god, it scared me so much. But I absolutely loved it, and I would really recommend reading it if you're near London, because I don't think there are any other productions anywhere else for some reason. If you're near London, go see the stage play version of this because they changed it slightly. It's actually, it's basically about this guy who hires an actor to perform his book, and his book is his recollection of the events at Eelmarsh House because he is meant to be the solicitor, and it's really creepy. it's really creepy. I've seen it twice and I absolutely love it. It's such a good production and I would go again and again and again if it didn't scare me so much, but it really does. because it's so good. It's a really great piece of theatre and I would really recommend it. But that is my top 5 Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a good Halloween, and I will see you next week for another top 5 Wednesday. So until then, bye!